Okay, here we go with week 6, and this week we are going to be focusing on leadership. Now, I'm going to take a look at leadership specifically from a motivation perspective, and then we're going to look at a few different aspects of motivation to dive a little bit deeper into the whole idea. So, starting off, motivation is the act or process of giving someone a reason for doing something, simply put. So it's the way that we enable or encourage people to do something. Now, employees can be motivated to achieve business results. So essentially, if you can motivate your employees to do the things that you want, then you're going to succeed. Um, the more motivated employees are going to lead to results. One thing to be mindful of is that the results are going to be dictated by the motivation. So whether the direction set is good or bad, if your employees are motivated, they are more likely to achieve the results in the direction that you've set. When looking at motivation in the most general of terms, we can look at it as positive influence and negative influence. And there are a number of factors which can contribute to each. Specifically, when looking at positive influence, one of the easiest factors to look at is good pay and job satisfaction. When people feel that they're well compensated and they're satisfied with their job, they're going to be more motivated to perform at the highest level that they can. Another good tool for providing positive influence and positive motivation would be bonuses. So, more financial compensation for a good job well done. But then beyond that, you also have rewards and recognition programs where people are called out and given accolades when they do perform at a high level and produce the kind of results that you're looking for. That kind of feedback can also be a great, strong motivator. In addition to your typical positive motivations, there are also negative influences that can be applied as well. One concern here is that, as a vague overview, negative influence can be viewed as restitution or punishment. Now, some of the applications that we can use here would be negative performance review, so calling out behavior that's undesirable, and that can also be seen in uh, personal improvement plans or probation plans. Another aspect of this could be something such as mandated overtime. So you don't necessarily tell the employee that they aren't doing a good job, but let them know, hey, this is the goal that we have to reach, and if we're not successful getting to that, then there's going to be overtime to ensure that we have adequate effort to reach the results that we need. Um, so with negative influence, you can produce results, but it is also likely to reduce job satisfaction. You're better off trying to use positive influence to motivate employees to reach a high level of performance of their own volition um, you know, rather than implementing punishments when the goals aren't met. Now, when looking at the difference between positive and negative influence, it brings to mind the issue of motivation versus manipulation, which is obviously a significant aspect, one that is can be quite a hot button and controversial issue. And in its simplest terms, one way to define manipulation is that it's when we think of a reason others should do something and then convince them of our correctness. So the individual isn't necessarily doing what they think is right, they're doing what you have convinced them is right. Another means of manipulation would be when you motivate somebody to do something without their knowledge. So you convince somebody to perform an act and they're not necessarily aware that they're being manipulated to do it. And while this does all seem negative, it is possible to produce results this way. Um, but in spite of the results, there are almost always some negative consequences associated with it. Among the possible negative consequences associated with manipulation are that it can create dissatisfaction with the work environment. An employee may reach out and accomplish the goal that you've set forth, but they won't necessarily be happy about it. They're not, aligned with the ideas and the reasonings for why they're doing what they're doing. Another factor is that it can create animosity among employees. So when everyone's not striving towards a common goal, everyone's not sure about the reasons they're doing things, or they're not all on board with the program, then it can create tension between employees that can lead to potential conflicts or other concerns that just detract from the working environment as a whole. The other concern is even when an employee doesn't know they're being manipulated, there are negative consequences with that as well, such as lack of clear direction. And it also creates a need for further manipulation down the line. So if you do successfully manipulate an employee and they don't realize that they're doing what you want for your reasons and they're not clear on what's going on, then they don't have a clear direction of what the real goals of the company are. Because they don't have those real goals in mind, in order to get them to drive towards the goals, you're going to have to continue to manipulate them. So, in summary, motivation is the key to achieving company goals. You want to motivate and enable employees to achieve the business results that we seek. You can motivate people through either positive or negative means, such as compensation bonuses, or negative feedback and restitution plans. When seeking to motivate employees, it's easy for motivation to turn into manipulation, and it's a difficult line to walk. Um, so determining exactly what methods to apply and when ultimately becomes arguably the most important aspect of leadership.